everyone, it's Diane. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome to begin with. Oh, so you've already missed half the fun here. Yes. We're going to continue today with my stamping project A to Z, where I'm trying to use all of my Stampin' Up stamp sets that I have collected. And I switch from the beginning of the alphabet to the end of the alphabet, working my way towards the middle, and we're at Watercolor Words, going backwards from the end of the alphabet. So I was thinking, since it's Watercolor Words, I should watercolor, which is kind of weird because a lot of the ladies and channels that I watch for my journals that I like to do, watercolor seems to be the thing right now, so it's kind of coincidental that Watercolor Words is next on the list. So I got the stamp set out. I got my, I got some watercolor paper, and I'm using, and this is just because this is what I have. This is just Canson watercolor paper, and it's 9 by 12. And I guess it matters, 140 pound. To some people it matters. Cold press. Okay, I know some people like all the details, so there you go. That's what I'm using. So I laid it out on a piece of, I use just dollar store tablecloths whenever we're having our workshops, so that we can get messy and not worry about my table. So I had a piece left over and laid that down on my table, taped my watercolor paper down. And you know, this is always dangerous because I'm playing with the water right beside my laptop and my little light and everything. So it's all, matter of fact, I need to get my get my mouse out of the way here before I end up, I don't have anywhere to put it, spilling water. So I have a little pot of clean, well, I have 2 jars of water. And I actually, this was one of my mom's old sugar bowls, and I kept it, and it really didn't go with anything, so I've always used it for my watercoloring, for my Wawa. And then I have just another one that, this will be my dirty cup. And I also found at our Goodwill one time, I found this butter dish that didn't have a lid, and I was thinking, oh, that's going to be so cool to put, to set my paintbrushes in, so I don't have to throw them on the table. Yeah. So, you know, if you have any of those oddball dishes and stuff, there's a good use for them. So after I had everything all set up, I was thinking, oh, you know what? I want to heat emboss some of the watercolor words. Well, that was pretty stupid because I already had my paper taped down. But I went for it. I used my Versamark ink, white embossing powder, and I did heat emboss on the watercolor paper. And then I just had to pick everything up and go shake my embossing powder onto another piece of paper to save my powder. And so that's why I'm saying you missed all the fun stuff. But I got it done. Oops, knocking over a little clipboard. And I used, this was actually Stampin' embossing powder, and it is detail white. So that's what I used on here. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I do have another piece of paper set aside. I thought maybe if this is a complete flop, maybe we'll watercolor the other piece and then just stamp with black ink on it. And Ella is in here, so if I have to get up and get her out of the way so that we don't have water everywhere, please excuse me. So I hope you're all doing well. I also have these little bits of watercolor paper left from when I had done cards once before, and I did stamp Hope on one of them. I thought these might come in handy. Maybe we'll do a couple of those. I don't know. I know we can't take all day. And use these as greetings on the top of maybe if you do jelly print backgrounds or come on, think of it, Dee. Alcohol ink backgrounds, some stuff like that. It's very hard to try to stamp on top of it. And there she is. Excuse me 1 minute, Miss Ella. Yeah, you. You can't walk in the paints. Do you want to say hello and goodbye? Say, hello, goodbye. Huh, you go sit in the window. Go over and get in the window. Come on. Yeah, so when you have those very colorful backgrounds, sometimes it's hard to decide how to make your greeting on the front so that it doesn't blend in too much. That's why I kind of wanted to, these are nice and cool now, heat emboss on this, because let's see what happens. I'm going to start just with a large flat brush, and I am not any expert on this stuff. Half of my brushes that I have were things that were given to me, or I got like at yard sales or whatever, garage sales. So, oh, yeah. And these have like really long handles. When I do watercolor, I tend to like my teeny tiny brushes. So that's my clean water. Then I did take some of my paints and I already spritzed water in them to sort of activate them. And if you don't have watercolors, we have done in the past, you can use your ink pads. Don't dip your brush directly onto the ink pad. Yes, I should have shown one. Let's see. Oh, let's go for my favorite Misty Moonlight. So if you have a Stampin' Up pad or any other kind, if you can get some of the ink into the lid, and I'm just squeezing it, you have a palette right here. Don't dip your water brush into the ink pad itself. You'll ruin your pads. But you can use my brush is very stiff. I didn't wet that first. You can use the ink as paint. I also have at the ready some paper towel and a little cloth in case I have any mishap. I have just a palette that I had used from before. I'm just going to add some blues on here. I did squirt this with water too, but it's a little dry. May have to add some more Wawa to it. Yeah, so I don't know if you're a fan of watercolors, or I love watercolor paintings. Oh my goodness, I love to go look at watercolor, which is kind of weird because when we were in school, and I have taken a couple watercolor classes as a grown-up, as an adult. I shouldn't say a grown-up, as an adult. Oh, I'm going to close this up because I'm going to use my paints. When we were in school, watercoloring was not ever my favorite subject that we would have in art class. When we go in there and they'd be like, oh, we're going to watercolor today. I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. But for some reason, over the years, I have come to appreciate watercolor, and I like now how watercolors do their own thing. The pigment is only going to go where we have water. So where I've embossed, it isn't going to add pigment on those letters. I do have my little water bottle here because I see we're already, the paper's sucking that water up there like there's no tomorrow. It's not really that hot here either. So I'm just going to add some various shades of blue to this. And let it do its thing. And I'm hoping the camera's in there close enough where you can see when the when the pigment starts to move into the water. And I just realized I had that tablecloth over where I think the speaker is. I hope I didn't just mess that all up. Sorry. Sorry. Don't get mad. And then if you wanted to introduce another color, I would say that we would dry this first. Either let it sit and dry or use a heat gun, which I also have here right behind me. Take some of the liquid off of here. And you don't really have to use watercolor paper. I see my E didn't emboss really well right there. Needs some help. You can use just regular cardstock, but you have to be careful how much paper or how much water you're adding to your paper, because you'll make your paper pill up and tear. So let's see if I can dry this one. Oh, if I can reach around and get to my cord. No, I can't. Because that would be too easy. I had to rearrange everything when I was trying to pick the tablecloth up and dump the embossing powder off. Let's just use this on low and get some of that. I apologize for the noise. I can mute you. Then I can't talk to you. All right, we're just going to let that one finish drying on its own now. I wanted to make sure I didn't have water that was going to splash all over into our next panel. All right, so I'll take some clean water and wet my next section. And I think let's do this one with some... Oh, this is a birthday, so let's do this one with some reds and oranges. I'm going to try to get the most pigment around my font so that it will stand out. And I just took those stamps from Watercolor Words. Like I said, I just did them in Versamark ink. And I just grabbed one from... see what we do. Happy birthday, you're the best. The other one is just for you. And then this bottom one on the left, I did some flowers. Let that one dry a little bit and then try to add a little bit of maybe some orange or something in there. I don't know. Let's see. See how that goes. Clean that off. And then we'll add some more clean water. Let's do our little flowers down here. I'm going to add quite a bit of water so that my ink or my paint, whichever you're using, just spreads out. And let me see, I think my brushes are a little bit gross, so let's do. Did I get much in any of the yellow? I don't think I did get them very wet. I like to take these little pans of watercolor, and I hope, oh, you can't see. I'm going to have to see if I can move my camera. Oh, that's always a dangerous thing. There we go. Not frozen, not frozen. I like to take the little pans with me when we go camping in the summertime. I guess when I was younger, it was the abstracty part of it that I don't want to say I didn't like it. I guess I didn't appreciate it. Wasn't just wasn't something that I was very into, I guess. Ooh, that's a pretty color. It's called vermilion. I like that. And then as the water pools up down in the corners, I just use a paper towel to grab that so it doesn't run all over. I don't think I did a video to wish everybody happy Mother's Day. Careful with that orange and green, you know, that makes brown. So happy Mother's Day, belated. So I think my video last week was way before Mother's Day, and then this one is way later than Mother's Day. I read a little article about how all women are a mother at some point in their life. And I do believe it. Whether it's to your own children, stray animals, friends or family in need that you're helping. I kind of like that. I'm not going to do any more to that. And when these are a little drier, I'll hold them up to the camera so you can see better how they are turning out. And what do we have on the, oh, just for you. So just for you. Oh, how about I really like that vermilion. Not typically an orangey person, but I do like that. And I might not go overboard with this. I might just let the paint go where it wants to and let that be. Yeah. Oh, we don't want to hear me sing, huh? No, that's torture. Torturous. Yeah. Trying to keep it darker in the center around those words, because when the paint dries, it is going to be lighter. Sop up some of this water. Sorry, I've gone quiet. I apologize. Just kind of looking at what I want to do. Okay. So, do we want to add, let's add some purple to that blue one. It's a little bit drier. I do have a violet. That might work well. And I'm not really adding a whole lot more water to this. I just put enough water in the little pan to get the pigment moving. That might be okay too. Now what am I going to do? Because now the stuff has to dry and it's all in my way. Oh, not a good plan, was it? All right, so let's get Hope. Oh, you know what? I guess we have to do that in pink. Actually, this weekend upcoming is our More Than Just Pink Walk for the Cure. And so my son and my sister-in-law and my nephew, my godson, and I are all headed to go walk for the fight against breast cancer. So we do have to do this in pink. I'm going to set it down. I know you can't see down here, but I don't want to hold it over the other colors and drip ink all over, or paint. Or water. Even I don't want to get water. Oh, I see that. That vermilion is pooling up again. I think this brush must hold more water in it than what I realized. I don't know if I ever used this big jumbo size brush before. I don't know. All right, I'm going to set that one up here, over here, somewhere where it's not going to get damaged. And then, let's see if I can get some of that water up off of there without taking too much of the color away. I like the dark color. Do any of you watercolor or maybe acrylics or oil? I think oil painting is gorgeous too. I if I had about 36 more hours a day in my life, I probably would try to oil paint, to learn how to use oils. But I feel like that would take some learning, quite a bit on my part. I've never used oil paints, but I think they're so pretty. I think anybody who can do any of that is just awesome. I mean, I'm happy when some of my stuff comes out not looking like a third grader did it. Although some third graders do better than I do. And then after you're done, if your pages have curled quite a bit, you can just set them under a heavy book overnight, and it does really help flatten them out. So I know you're going to think I'm weird, but I think I'm going to add some of that vermilion to my Happy Birthday in pink. I love pink and orange together. I can use mostly that water because I don't know how much more I'm going to need it. I'm not going to do too much more. I want to get these dried off a little bit and at least try to make one of them into a card, although it's going to be pretty curled. I might have an idea for that. I think once before when I did it, I put it through my Big Shot. Yep, so I'm working on my designs for our next workshop, which is the 24th at 11:30. So if y'all are local to me and interested, let me know. You can still use the Diane at bohostamper.com. Oh, where is that? So I can give you the spelling, because it's Diane without an E. But I am thinking about changing this just to a Gmail account, because I do think I'm going to finish up my website. Since I'm not a demonstrator for Stampin' Up anymore, I really don't use the website, and I'm going to move my what's that thing called? Newsletter. I wouldn't know because I haven't kept it caught up lately. I want to move my newsletter emails to my Gmail account as well, because I'll tell you, between keeping up a website and an email marketing thing and all the licensing, it really starts to get to be expensive. And like I said, since I'm not selling anymore, it's just all out of pocket stuff, and I don't really have a reason to do that. Oh, come here, Wawa. Don't do that. Ooh, I like it. All right, let's dry these a little bit. Plug your ears. Try to get it done quickly. Uh-oh. Guess that's one way to get more purple. Add some red to that blue. add a little more violet back in that. I got big empty spots now. Where'd my violet go? We're in that one. That was a boo-boo, but boo-boos are room for creativity, right? It's turning out to be kind of a nice day here. It was a little cool this morning. All right, let's see where we're going. Oh, I shouldn't leave that there. That's a great way to knock water over onto my computer. Move this out of the way. And these are dry enough, I think, to take the tape off, I hope. I don't think they're dry all the way, but oh, I hear Ella crying. She does not want to see. And I don't really know what kind of tape this is. It was just a roll. Actually, my husband bought a garage a few years ago here that he plays with his old cars and stuff in. And there was a bunch of stuff left in boxes when we got it. So, of course, I went through. Actually, I think that's where some of my paintbrushes came from. And there was this red tape in there, and neither one, it's almost like masking tape, but it is a low tack tape. It doesn't seem to be sticking to the tablecloth, but not really ripping my paper. Yay! That's a good thing. Like I said, these sheets were 9 by 12, so obviously we're going to cut them down a little bit before adding them to a card base. And this is Watercolor Words. How about that we watercolored. Oh, there goes my tablecloth. She's a goner. My expensive tablecloth there. Look how pretty I might have to keep that. That would be pretty on pretty colors. Maybe some background stuff on a journal page. Oh, yeah. Weird, I know, I'm weird. Whatever. Not bad. Just for you and our little flowers. And here's the hope. And there are a couple stamp sets over there that would be great for. Okay, so let's get I didn't get cardstock out yet because I wasn't sure what colors we would end up with while painting. So how about this one maybe? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is Flirty Flamingo. Oh, it might be all right, huh? We'll try to get at least one of these done here before it takes way too long. So, now remember, these are going to be landscape cards. So what am I doing? And this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And I scored at 4 1/4, and I cut to at 5.5. That's pretty much our standard. Now we need to decide if I'm going to put some kind of pattern paper behind our front panel. Possibly a floral print, you think? And I think I know just the one. I can find it. If I can find it. Where are you? Ooh, that's pretty. What's that? Oh, that's scrapbook paper, but why not? Paper's got to get used, right? Look at that. I like it. Oh, so's that next one. Oh, come on, you can tear. That one or this one? Oh, that one doesn't have enough pink. I think it's going to be that one. All right. Watch how quickly we can get a card together after we got done playing with our paints. I like a thin border, so between my pattern paper and my card base. So I usually cut my panel at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. 5 3/8. Now we can either cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and maybe we'll start at that. Wrong way. 5 1/4. I almost cut off. Come on. I'm going to do this. So now we can trim this down. I should have left a little more white on that edge. Or we can make 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm kind of just trimming my paper until I get to where I want it to be. 3 3/4 by 5. That's going to do it. And then what I can do, I don't know if I like that paper behind it. Since that's 3 3/4 by 5, I trapped myself in. I threw that scrapbook paper down and it's not, it's pretty much all loose in the book because there just are pieces left. And didn't they go everywhere? Yes, they did. But that's okay. I see a lot more pretty papers in there now. Let's grab too small. I have to cut a sheet. I will cut a piece of basic white to 4 by 5 1/4. Layer my watercolor on that. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that. Oh, I think I like it without the design paper on it. Weird. That's okay. Maybe you'll go with that one. I don't know. Oh, I'm losing everything here. Okay. Now we have to make sure we have this glued down really well because it is kind of warpy. So I think I'll use double-sided tape. I may as well grab my little gemstones while I'm up. Oh, that won't work. Okay. And let's put this all together. Oh, thank goodness that's on the back. My tape stuck. It's still stuck on me. Doesn't want to go anywhere. I don't know why I'm such a weakling with this stuff. I like double-sided tape, but I really do struggle to tear it. I don't think it's supposed to be that hard. I think I'm just a weakling. Get the backing off of that. Yes, I trimmed my nails, and so that's a challenge as well. Well, I'm happy I didn't end up making more of a mess when I wanted to heat emboss my words there, because I was thinking once I got that embossing powder poured out onto my paper, how was I going to pick all that up? Well, I did take the tablecloth and everything with it, but... And let's get this centered here. And even though I'm gluing this all down, I am probably still going to set this under a book once I have the card all put together, just to make sure this flattens out nice. My paper is nice and heavy. This cardstock is a little sturdier cardstock. Stampin' Up! Does have some real good quality paper. I have to say that. I like their papers and their inks. I think before I put this on my base, I'm gonna, what improper grammar, huh? I'm going to add a little bit of splatter. just because I can. Not that I should, necessarily. Just because I can. Oh, where did I put that pretty vermilion? Is that in this one? No. It was in my little chiclets container go. Yep. That one. I hear you, little girl. I'm surprised we didn't have the lovely garbage trucks today making their banging sounds. I figured about the time I started recording, they would make their rounds. Now, you don't have to use watercolor to use watercolor words. Obviously. We're at 47 minutes, so I was going to say we can do one with just a background and stamping it, but it's going to take a little bit of time. Oh. I like it. Look at it. I do like it. Cool beans. I'm going to, because the other ones are already embossed, let's just do, oh, just lost my embossing. What I do, 3 3/4 by 5. That over here. Because I do want to show you, I know it's going to take me an extra couple minutes here, but I'll try to hurry. Let's get you out of the way. Pretty little birthday card. And some cleaner water. Let's just, well, I guess we're going to go with some pinks again because my brush has pink in it still. I don't have room for these other ones. Oh, I know what I gotta do too. Amy always does this and it looks so pretty. This will help dry it a little quicker. Get some of that liquid off of there. And how about, So this is one that you could easily do with inks. Well, I think she just knocked something down over there. That's my punishment since I didn't let her in the craft room while we're doing our video. Always pay the price. That little pussycat. Let's see if we can flatten this out a little bit. Ooh, that'd be pretty putting it through an embossing folder too. Oh, sorry for the shake up. Shaky, shaky. Nice, nice, nice. I don't want to spill my garbage. I have all that embossing powder that was cleaned off my table in there. Gross. Oh, where are you? I need... Make sure this pen writes. I haven't used this for a long time. Oh, yay. Give this a stamperoo. And this is EK Tools journaling pen. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus because since this is watercolor paper, obviously there's some texture to it. Oh, there they are. I was going to say, where did my stamps go? And it just might not get in all those little cracks and crevices on your first impression. So I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. See how it left some little, I don't know if you can see the little bumps in the paper where the ink didn't adhere very well. And when you use a stamp positioner, if you don't move your paper, you can do it a second time or a third time, however many you want to get the intensity that you want. All right, that looks better. I like it. This is Wisteria. Wisteria Wonder, I believe. This is an old color. Oh, I forgot my scoring blade fell off. Ugh. I don't know why those always come off this. 4 1/4. 5 1/2. Down in half. Put a little crease. And how fast is that? Really? You can make a birthday card that quick. That was only what? 10 minutes, if? I think I said it was 47 minutes when I started that, and we're at 57. Now I wasn't even thinking about it. Yeah, the other one I actually thought about a little bit. Planned it out, embossed. Whoop. Oh, I thought I smeared it. I guess if it smeared a little bit, it wouldn't be so bad because it is watercolor, but I don't really want it to. Ta-da! With some paint and a stamp. All right, you guys. Have a lovely week. Go make a card. Use your creative juices there. Let them flow and throw them onto some paper and send somebody a card and make them smile. See y'all again next week. Thanks for being with me. Bye.